Drake has been everywhere lately, and now one of his latest moves has somebody in hip-hop media calling him out. From reportedly giving away $1 million during a dinner event for women to jumping into speed dates on stream, Drake has been keeping himself highly visible. But then came his appearance in a 20 versus 1 dating video, and that's when Wayno stepped in with a completely different take. And Wayno's reaction wasn't coming from somebody who simply doesn't like Drake. In fact, he made it clear that he's a fan of Drake's music.
Wayno talked about how you and him had a conversation, Charlamagne, about who would be closest to Jay-Z.
Now, I had this conversation one time with Charlamagne years ago, and we was basically debating, right? Like, who would be the closest artist to Jay-Z? And I said Drake. And Charlamagne was like, nah, you bugging, nigga. And I'm like, how? I'm like, Drake, I'm like, yo, Drake would be the person that is closest to Jay in terms of how his career has gone as far as his success. And I think Charlamagne said Lil Wayne.
And that's exactly why the 20 versus 1 appearance disappointed him. Wayno's argument was simple. Drake is approaching 40, has already achieved almost everything an artist could dream of, and has reached a level where fans expect his moves to reflect that status. Years ago, Wayno even debated Charlamagne the God about which artist could come closest to Jay-Z's career trajectory, and his answer was Drake. That's why he never imagined seeing Drake doing something like this. And Wayno wasn't buying the idea that it had anything to do with finding romance either. He said, I don't think that Drake is on there looking for love, nor do I think that 20 versus 1s are about people looking for love. It's just content.
As a fan of Drake's music, I was totally disappointed to see it do a 20v1, even playing wise. People look at Drake as an artist that not only has he achieved a lot, but he's damn near 40 years old.
But according to Wayno, even content can reveal something about the person doing it, and that's where his criticism really started. But Drake didn't let Wayno's criticism sit for long. He responded, and suddenly the conversation became much more personal.
So don't be afraid to do something for somebody. You know, I was saying the other night, I hate the term tricking. Because tricking has a negative connotation to it, like you're doing something for somebody for something in exchange.
Expectations in return, yeah, feel that.
It's just nice to make somebody else feel good.
First, here's what actually sparked all of this. Drake appeared on a kick stream for a 20 versus 1 dating show hosted by Kyle from the Nelk Boys. The concept put Drake face-to-face with 20 women in a series of quick, unpredictable interactions designed more for entertainment than serious dating. And predictably, the stream produced plenty of viral moments. One of the strangest clips showed Drake literally barking during an interaction with a woman who described herself as a goth. That moment spread fast.
Okay. You're saying this, and now I'm gonna, like, test it.
Okay. What do we... Just give me, like...
But Wayno saw something completely different when he watched the bigger picture. Yeah, barking. And for Wayno, that viral moment seemed to represent exactly what bothered him about the whole appearance. The former Everyday Struggle host has been around hip-hop for years, and his criticism came from what he expected Drake's career to look like at this stage.
That I never thought in a million years I would see Drake do a 20v1. I don't think that Drake is on there looking for love, nor do I think that 20v1s are about people looking for love. It's just content. It's just some shit that people...
It was the closest to Jay, I would say that, but this 20 versus 1 was trash. It was whack, right? Because like I said yesterday, you want your artist to look a certain way, right?
Yeah.
And when you see your favorite artist,
Yeah.
it doesn't make you feel good.
Wayno had once compared Drake's trajectory to Jay-Z's, so watching a superstar approaching 40 participate in a chaotic internet dating show felt, in his view, like a step backward. Then Wayno took the criticism much further, comparing this type of content to something designed to negatively influence the culture. Whether people agreed or thought he was taking it way too seriously, the comments definitely got attention, and apparently they got Drake's attention too. Drake didn't respond with a long explanation or defend the stream. Instead, he found an old screenshot of Wayno appearing on the For All the Nerds podcast. And what Drake wrote over that screenshot completely flipped Wayno's argument back on him, and Drake's response was classic internet trolling. The screenshot showed Wayno discussing Marvel movies and TV shows, and Drake captioned it, "This was you last week reviewing Marvel. Returning guest? Never too old for some joy, gang. Take it easy." The message was pretty clear. If Wayno can enjoy talking about superheroes at his age, why should Drake suddenly be too old to have fun on a dating stream? That argument immediately took off with Drake's supporters. Many accused Wayno of applying two different standards, while others simply argued that Drake should be allowed to enjoy himself regardless of his age. For a moment, it looked like Drake had found the perfect comeback. Except Wayno noticed one major problem with that Marvel comparison. He returned to YouTube and pointed directly at Drake's own OVO brand, which had recently collaborated with Marvel. And suddenly, Drake's comeback wasn't looking quite as simple as it did at first, but Wayno wasn't ready to give Drake that win. After people told him Drake had violated him with the Marvel screenshot, Wayno pushed back. No, he didn't. That didn't violate me.
No, he didn't. That didn't violate me. He's calling me out for the same thing I'm calling him out for, because he's basically saying never too old for some joy. Take it easy. Now, let me add how I feel about that. I didn't know that 20v1s was so important to the people who support him.
He argued that Drake was basically doing the same thing Wayno had done, questioning whether somebody's content matched how he viewed them. Wayno also clarified that he wasn't attacking Drake for having nerdy interests. In fact, he called Drake one of hip-hop's biggest nerds when it comes to collecting memorabilia, and said there was nothing wrong with that. Then came his real counter-argument. OVO itself had already collaborated with Marvel, releasing merchandise featuring characters like Wolverine. So, from Wayno's perspective, using his Marvel discussions as the punchline didn't exactly land. If Drake's own company can celebrate Marvel, why should Wayno discussing it suddenly be embarrassing? But the Marvel debate was only part of why Drake's recent behavior had people talking. Just days before the dating stream, Drake hosted his third annual Strong Women Stronger Drinks event at a castle in Toronto. And this wasn't a typical celebrity party. The guest list reportedly included women creators, entrepreneurs, and broadcasters from Toronto, whom Drake said he respected. According to reports surrounding the event, attendees received $1,000 just for arriving. Then the numbers got much bigger. 10 women were reportedly surprised with $50,000 each, totaling $500,000. Some reportedly received even larger prizes, and luxury vehicles were also raffled off, including a BMW and a Mercedes G-Wagon. So within days, Drake went from handing out life-changing amounts of money at an event celebrating women to barking during a chaotic internet dating show. And that dramatic switch in image is exactly what pushed Wayno's criticism into a much bigger conversation. And that's where this stopped being about one dating stream. Within the same week, Drake was making headlines for giving women in Toronto major cash prizes and luxury cars. Then days later, he was joking around on a chaotic 20 versus 1 stream. Two completely different sides of the same superstar, almost back to back. And that's really the debate Wayno opened up. Is Drake simply being Drake, someone who can make serious business moves one day and act completely unserious the next? Some fans say that unpredictability is exactly what has kept him relatable for so long.
People have made fun of Drake for being corny. I think Drake, honestly, is just being himself, And corny is subjective to the person. I find some of it entertaining, to be honest. I see a lot of people getting emotional about everything that Drake does. It's getting under their skin. They get so passionate about why is he doing this and why is he doing that?
Wayno sees it differently. His argument isn't that Drake can't have fun. It's that after reaching this level of success and approaching 40, maybe the way he presents himself should evolve too. But does getting older really mean Drake has to stop being Drake? And that's where Wayno's criticism gets complicated. Because Drake didn't reach this level by acting like the traditional, untouchable rap superstar. For years, part of his appeal has been that he'll make a serious record, dominate the charts, and then turn around and joke online or step into something completely unexpected. So maybe the 20 versus 1 appearance isn't Drake suddenly changing at all. Maybe it's the exact same personality fans have been watching for years, just playing out on a newer platform.
What about Drake is making y'all think he's going to wake up one day and be this super woke guy that's doing all of these mature things y'all want him to do? Drake is Drake.
But there's another side to it. The bigger the artist becomes, the more every move gets judged against their legacy. What looks like harmless fun to one person can look completely out of character to somebody who expects Drake to move differently at this stage of his career. And that's why this debate isn't really about Marvel, barking, or even a dating show anymore. It's about whether becoming a legend means eventually changing the way you move, and maybe that's why this story hit such a nerve. Wayno wasn't questioning Drake's success. He was questioning what people expect from a superstar once he reaches a certain point in his career. Drake's response pushed back on that idea with one simple message: you're never too old to enjoy yourself, and neither side completely backed down. So now the question goes to you. Did Wayno have a point, or are people putting unnecessary rules on how Drake should act just because he's approaching 40? And who had the better comeback in the Marvel exchange? Drop your take in the comments below. I want to see where you stand. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone following the Drake conversation. Turn on notifications for the next story, and I'll see you in the next one.